Hey friends, how you doing? It is great to have you here. Today we are going to be talking about camp food cooking. Yep, we're going to teach you some ways to be a happy camper with some easy ideas for what to make when you are out of doors and cooking. So whether you are a camper, a glamper, or a backyard scamper, we are going to have some ideas for you today. So I welcome you, and if you were invited by a consultant, please give them a shout out in the comment section right now. Let them know you're here, tag them in your post. And if you were not invited by a consultant, no problem. Still glad to have you here. You can give me a shout out in the comments section and let me know that you're here. And if you would like to find a consultant, you can, of course, visit us at tastefullysimple.com. That's also where you can find all of the wonderful products that I'm going to be telling you about today. If your consultant provided you with a link, please be sure to use that one when you decide to go take a peek. So, camping, glamping, backyard scamping. We are going to, whether you like to go old school and camp with a tent and no electricity, I've got some ideas for you. If you're a glamper, as am I will have some ideas for you. Glamping is just basically camping, but you've got electricity and some of the comforts of home with you. And backyard scamping is just breaking out that grill, or maybe you want to get that fire pit that you bought a few years ago going and roast some hot dogs or a few of the things that I have here. Well, you would be able to use that. So no matter what you're looking for outdoor cooking, we are going to have some ideas for you. So I am going to be focused primarily today on one of our meal kits, and it's the Simply 5 kit. And I've got one set up right over here. Jason, maybe you can give them a little gander at that. So it's got some of our wonderful seasoning blends and sauces in it. It comes with this recipe booklet here. And inside, you're going to find 10 dinner recipes, a bunch of side dishes, and all of those recipes require 5 ingredients. Maybe a couple pantry staples like salt or water. But for the most part, these are 5 ingredient, super fast and simple recipes that are really great for camping and outdoor cooking. So those are the ones that's the kit I'm going to be talking about. The first recipe I want to tell you about is our sweet and sour pineapple pork chops. So let me show you how you make them. And today I'm going to be using my grill pan since we are indoors and not outdoors. But I've got a tray, a nice little tray of pork chops here. And the first thing I'm going to do is just season them with some salt. You don't have to do this if you're going light on salt, but I like the flavor pop that brings to this dish. So I'm just going to go ahead and season those up with some salt on both sides. And then we're going to blend up a little sauce, as it were, for brushing onto our chops before we grill them. So you can do these on your grill, you can do them on your Blackstone, you can do them in your grill pan, like I'm going to do. So once you have that seasoned up, I have here some avocado oil. This actually isn't in the kit, but it's a great add-on item when you're camping and cooking outdoors, because avocado oil is a high heat oil, and that's the kind of oil that you want for grilling and all kinds of fire-based cooking. So I've got a couple tablespoons of that in here, and now I'm going to grab one of our seasonal products. It is our CC cilantro seasoning. And this has been one of our best sellers. It makes a really amazing dip. But what I want people to know is that it also is great for flavoring up your main dishes. So today we're going to use it in this little, it's not really a marinade because you just brush it on. It calls for 2 to 3 teaspoons of CC cilantro. So I just poured out a whole capful, and that means 2 tablespoons. So we're going to tone it down a little bit and pour some of that back in. 3 teaspoons is 1 tablespoon. That means it's about a half a cap. So I'm going to throw that in there. I've got some nice hearty chops here, so I want to be sure I get those nice and flavored up. And waste not, want not, we're going to pile that in there too. I'm going to give this a little stir. And that's all there is to it. Super simple so far. I think pretty much anybody could do this at home. So next, I am going to grab my silicone brush here. And I'm just going to brush this on to the chops, and they're going to go right into my grill pan. So let's just take this right over here so that we don't have too big of a splash zone that we're working with. So as we're talking about camping and camp foods, I would love to hear from some of you about your camp life. Do you like to camp, or do you glamp, or are you mostly in the backyard cooking with fire outside of your house? So go ahead and give us a comment and let me know what you prefer, or maybe what you actually do and what you prefer. So I'm going to grab some tongs here. I'm going to go ahead and put these in my pan with that oiled side down. Hear that sizzle. And then I'll brush the other sides once I get these in here. So I know a lot of people take a grill with them when they go camping, or there's a grill on site at a lot of campsites as well. And that's why this recipe is so simple. You can actually brush this on before you get to camp, or you can mix it up after you get there, whatever you prefer. And if you're using a cooler, one trick that we use a lot, I can only get 5 of my chops in here, so we'll save this one for later. One of the tricks that we do is in the cooler, if I know I'm going to have pork chops maybe the second day that we're camping, I go ahead and pop those into my cooler frozen, because they're going to thaw out over the course of that day, and until they're completely thawed, they help keep everything else in the cooler cold. So we do that with a lot of things, pre-cooked or prepared things, and it works out great. And now I'm just going to brush the rest of this on the tops, and we're going to let this go and cook for a few minutes. I'll come back and turn it. But Jason, let's go ahead and show them, once you get this done, I mean, this is just a simple cooking of the pork chop now. All we're going to do is cook this until it's got nice grill marks on one side. We're going to flip it over. If you visited me before on any of our Facebook Lives, you know that my favorite kitchen tool is my instant read thermometer. And so that's how I know for sure that my pork is done. Pork can be eaten safely at 145 degrees. A lot of people cook it just a little bit longer than that, but 145 is all you need to hit for pork, and so that's how I know it's going to be done. We actually have one of these in our camper. And so we'll just let this saute here for a minute. But when you're done, you're just going to take those off and sauce them up with some of our sweet and sour pineapple sauce. And that has been a super hot seller for us this season, and we've actually had it in our line a couple of times. So it's a crowd pleaser. You can pre-cook rice and put that in your refrigerator, and then when you get to camp, just warm that up either in a foil pan, or if you're glamping, you can warm it up in your microwave. Have a nice little bit of rice with your pork chop, because that pineapple sauce is so good with rice and pork. So anyway, when you're done, Jason, let's show them what it's going to look like. It's this beautiful grilled pork chop. So next, I want to tell you about another idea that I have for camping, outdoor cooking, or if you're going to a potluck or traveling or going someplace else. This recipe is not in the Simply 5 kit, but it's made with products that are in there. So we are going to talk about cha-cha shredded beef. So this is actually a slow cooker dish. So raise your hand in the comment section and let me know if you ever take your slow cooker with you when you go camping. Because again, if you're actually glamping and you've got electricity or power at your campsite, the slow cooker is a great way to prepare food at camp. So you can either do this recipe at camp, or I usually make it ahead of time. And again, I package it up into some freezer bags. I freeze it, throw it in my cooler, and then a day or two into our camping festivities, that's all thawed out and ready to go. So I'll tell you how to make it, and then I'll tell you some of the things that we like to do at camp with it. So this, again, I'm going to pop open my slow cooker here. Super simple recipe. I've got some beef chuck roast here. And it's 4 pounds, so this makes this enough for a crowd, or enough for you to use some now and freeze some for later. My preferred is an arm roast, a beef chuck arm roast, but whatever chuck roast you have on sale is going to be perfect. Oh, do I have, oh, yeah, thanks. We can't have our view blocked. So all I need is to cut this into 4 pieces. So I have 2 pieces already here, so I'm just going to cut each one in half. And I am not going to trim the fat off of this. This is my own personal preference. If you want to trim it off, you can, but that, my friends, is a whole lot of flavor. So I go ahead and leave it on. That means I might have to do some skimming once the meat is cooked. I don't mind because I love having that flavor in there, and it's also a tenderizer. So now that I've got this cut, I'm going to go right into my slow cooker. Jason, I don't know if you can see in there or not. Can you? Okay. And then I'm going to grab my cha-cha chili lime seasoning. And the recipe calls for 2 tablespoons. So I'm going to sprinkle half of it on now, but I'm going to measure it all out, which again, 1 cap, 2 tablespoons. And then I'm just going to give that a little sprinkle. Sprinkle, sprinkle. A little bit more. And then I'm going to do some onion. Also in this kit, pantry staple, product I cannot live without. And this one is only a tablespoon. So again, I like to give this a little shake ahead of time to redistribute all of the deliciousness in there. And then I like to go check my pork chops and see if they're ready for a flip. Take a little peek here. Nope, they're doing good, but I don't think they're quite ready yet. We'll give them another minute. So I've got my onion shaken up. I need 1 tablespoon. I'm going to measure that out, half of a cap here, and then I'm going to just put half of that onto my meat. Stack in my other 2 pieces. Same deal. Making layers here with our cha-cha chili lime and a little more onion. So far, so good, right? Next up, we are going to pour in a cup of beef broth, which I have right here. Now, if you get to camp and you think, oh, really? I forgot my beef broth. You can use beer. Somebody at camp probably has a beer, right? And you don't need the whole thing, so then you get to drink whatever's left over. Or you can do half broth, half beer, whatever makes you happy. Beer is a really wonderful tenderizer for beef, especially in the slow cooker. And you can actually make this dish in the pressure cooker as well. So if you're an IP kind of a person, go ahead. And that's it, friends. You just pop on that lid and let it cook all day. Again, you can do this at camp or you can do it at home. Let's take another peek at our chops. I think they're probably ready to flip. They smell divine. Yes, look at that. Oh, good looking. Good looking chops. All right. We'll just let that ride for a little while now. I'm going to turn it down just a tad. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about this cha-cha beef because I have a batch that I already made. Boom, magic of TV right there. So I actually made this in my Instant Pot because it works either way. I've done it both ways. Instant Pot is faster, so if you're looking for speed, IP's your friend. So this just is directly out of there. I haven't shredded it yet, so I've still got my big hunks of beef. And then all you're going to do is go in there and shred this, and I just want you to see how tender this is. It just like falls apart. It's so tender. So you shred that up. I like to leave it in the juice for a little while just because then it absorbs some of those flavors, and then I drain that off. You can save it and use it as a dipping or drizzling sauce for later, or if you're going to put something else on it, you can ditch that and move on. So I'm not going to shred all of this. I think you get the idea. But once you have this all shredded up, then let's talk about what you can do. I can't stop. Once you start shredding, it's hard to stop shredding. So, you're at camp. Maybe you have a hamburger bun. Split that hamburger bun, top it with some of your shredded beef. Maybe you drizzle on a little of that au jus that you saved. Maybe you put some barbecue sauce on there. We have a delightful smoky bacon barbecue sauce, which is delicious on here. And never, ever underestimate the power of Vidalia onion dressing on beef. It's amazing. You will have a sandwich like none other. Or let's say you have some hoagie buns with you, or brat buns, or even a hot dog bun. You can split that and make a camp-style version of a Philly steak sandwich. It's kind of like that. You saute some peppers and onions on your grill or on your cast iron pan over an open fire, and some provolone cheese, or cheese whiz if you want the traditional Philly fave, and make some delicious Philly cheesesteak sandwiches. Maybe you brought tortillas. Taco bar. That is a perfect choice for camping because A, everyone can bring something, so it really lends itself to a potluck. You can bring it in little plastic containers that are all ready to go and easy to transport. You set out your tortillas, some of your shredded beef, and then all of the taco fixins that you desire and roll those up. Or if you want a hot meal, roll this up as a burrito, so no lettuce, but put some meat and cheese and onion and olives or whatever you want in there. Roll that up in some foil, and then you can either set that over your campfire grate, or you can put it on your grill, or in your slow cooker, or in your oven if you have a camper, and warm those up and have burritos for dinner. So I just love the versatility that our shredded cha-cha beef brings to the campsite. I love that I can either make it on site if I'm feeling like it. What are you going to do at camp anyway? You're kind of sitting around all day, right? Throw something in your slow cooker so that it's ready for evening, or make it before you go. So those are some cha-cha ideas for you. Next, let's talk just a little bit about the drink that I'm supposed to be drinking whilst we're cooking. If you've been to any of our Facebook Lives before, you know I love to have a cold, refreshing beverage with me. And I know you do too. And we've got our delightful silicone wine tumbler, drink a little, laugh a lot. I'm not putting wine in mine today. I am putting some peach teeny in here. And this is actually I made it with vodka. This is one of our drink buckets. I've got some peach chunks right in there. And it is delicious. So now I can refresh myself and talk to you about what's for dessert. Cheers. Here we go. Yes, it's good. Because we have a free gift with purchase when you buy our Simply 5 meal kit. In fact, when you buy any one of our 10 meal kits, you always get a free gift. And the free gift in this one is our Mai Tai cheese ball mix. So let's just bring that over here and I'm going to show you. Actually, while I get ready for that, Jason, why don't we go ahead? We have a recipe for Mai Tai Muddy Buddies. A perfect camp snack. Everybody needs to bring some camp snacks. And why not make it Mai Tai Muddy Buddies? Take a look. Okay, friends, Mai Tai Muddy Buddies, they're the bomb. And you get 2 packets in here so you can make Mai Tai Muddy Buddies and some delicious Mai Tai fruit dip. So I have my pack of Mai Tai mix here. I've got a brick of cream cheese in my bowl. And I have a jar of marshmallow fluff. So what I'm going to do first, this is my little secret to making this, is to kind of whip up that cream cheese before you try to add in your marshmallow fluff. And then it will be smoother when you're done, and you won't have those little chunks of cream cheese in there, which aren't bad. It's okay. But if you kind of smooth this out first, then the whole thing just gets more smooth. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot to talk about the pie irons. Let me show you. Here, who knows what a pie iron is? It's this. These are little, let me show you if you're new to camping, or pie irons. So what you do is open this up. So you've got two halves, right? I'm just going to take this one apart for demonstration purposes. You butter a piece of bread. You put the butter side down here. You scoop up some of your shredded beef. You top that onto the bread. Maybe some cheese, maybe some onions, a little bit. Don't go overboard or you won't get this closed. And then on this half, you put another piece of buttered bread, butter side down. These two hook together. And then you clamp it shut. And you go sit by the campfire and you put this down by those nice warm embery coals. And you just sit there and toast for a little while. And then you flip it over. It's like toasting a marshmallow, except for it takes a little bit longer because you got a whole sandwich in there. And then when it's done, you pop it out of the tin, you sit back in your camp chair, and then you take a bite, but not too fast, because then you get that whole burn the roof of your mouth off kind of feeling, and I hate that with pizza or Pop-Tarts. We don't want that happening. Pull it out of your tin and put it on your little paper plate or your napkin and wait a couple minutes, and it is just a delicious sandwich. Pie tins, you can make desserts. So when you mix up your Mai Tai cheese ball, you can butter a piece of bread and sprinkle it with some cinnamon and sugar, and then put that in your pie tin with a scoop of just plain old Mai Tai cheese ball mixed up, not with the marshmallow fluff or with the marshmallow fluff, because what we usually do is we pop a whole marshmallow in there. So if you've already got the marshmallow fluff in there, it just makes it easier. Put the other piece of bread, buttered, cinnamon and sugar, toast that over the open fire for dessert. It's delicious. So that was what I wanted to tell you about pie tins. I'd love to hear if any of you use pie tins, and if you do, what do you make in them? Because we've done pizzas in there. We've done eggs, like morning omelets in our pie tins. All kinds of fun stuff to do with those. All right, my cream cheese is pretty smooth here, so I'm going to go ahead and stir in this marshmallow fluff. Some people do this with Cool Whip or whipped topping. Marshmallow fluff is the way to go in my book. It's just creamier and deliciouser. So I'm going to go ahead and throw all this in too. This is my Mai Tai mix. And then we're just going to spend some time stirring here. And what I love about this is it's just a crowd pleaser. You're going to bring the dish that everybody wants to eat. You're going to go home empty-handed. You won't have leftovers to deal with. And I also just love the bringing something where you can get some fruit out there, something that's a little bit healthier than a bag of chips, right? And then you can do all different kinds of fruit with this, but I love the simplicity for camping of just doing strawberries. Maybe throw in a bag of Twisty Grams. Twisty Grams are something that we've been selling for years here at Tastefully Simple. It's a little, it looks like a pretzel, but it tastes like a cinnamon graham cracker. So it's quite delicious with a fruit dip. So now that I've got this stirred up, I'm going to pull my little tray over here and show you what we got. Now I'm actually using this tray as a little melamine tray. And we sell that, so you should check that out in our catalog or on our website. It's perfect for camping because it's melamine, so it's not going to break. It's lightweight, easy to pack. And I really like the size of this. I don't know about you, but I've got that big, like the big Rubbermaid one. And it's gigantic. We often don't have enough people to support putting that much out there. You know what? I need a spoon. So it's just such a nice size. And I'm going to put a big old dollop of my fluffy Mai Tai fruit dip in here. And I am going to make so many people happy. They are going to be happy, happy campers. Like so. You can just keep piling that in there too, because you know that they're going to eat it. And it kind of holds its shape a little bit. So there you go. I even have some more to replenish when they work through that batch. So that is our Mai Tai fruit dip. You could dip in some mango slices, pineapple slices, any kind of fruit you want. But like I said, keeping it simple when you're camping is the key to being a happy camper. Hence our Simply 5 meal kit and the simplicity of just strawberries and twisty grams. And I am going to take a look at these chops because they look like they're done. We'll bring this home here. Before you go, I just wanted to mention a limited time offer that we have going on right now, which is, drum roll please, our Happy Camper. Isn't that the cutest thing you ever did see? Every camper needs this. It's got 4 of our pantry staples in it. There's seasoned salt and seasoned pepper. You're going to use that on everything. There is ultimate steak seasoning, and one other thing that I can't remember. Garlic, of course. Garlic, seasoned salt, seasoned pepper, and ultimate steak seasoning. With those seasonings, your camper pantry is going to be loaded with everything you need to just make so many flavorful meals. So that is available while supplies last. It's adorable, it's practical, and you, my friends, are going to love it. So thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you are walking away with some great camp cooking ideas. And if you have any camp cooking ideas that you'd like to share, give us a shout out in the comment section. Let us know what those ideas are, and maybe we will feature one later this month. So thanks again for joining us. See you soon.